A hot day in Africa, 3 million years ago. On the shore of an ancient lake sits a creature that does not yet look human. It picks up a stone and slams it hard against another stone. A sharp flake flies off, as sharp as a blade. That flake will change the course of history, because in that moment, a strange chain reaction begins. The stone will begin to reshape the hand. The hand will begin to reshape the brain, and the brain will demand new stones. And millions of years later, the result of that chain reaction will be you. But what if humans did not invent tools because they were smart? What if it happened the other way around? What if we became smart because we made tools? Where did your brain come from, the one that can read, speak, and dream? And what does an ordinary stone from the African dust have to do with it? Let me walk you through it step by step. Our story begins in East Africa, more precisely near Lake Turkana in present-day Kenya. In 2011, a team led by archaeologist Sonia Harmond arrived there. They were searching for traces of ancient humans under the blazing sun. And then they found something strange. Stones that had clearly been broken by someone's hand. When the scientists determined the age of the find, they could hardly believe their eyes. The stones were 3,300,000 years old. These are the oldest tools ever found on Earth. But here is the mystery. Humans did not exist yet. The Earth was still home to ape-like creatures, australopiths. Their brains were 3 times smaller than ours, and yet those tiny brains already knew how to make tools from stone. A little later, around 2.6 million years ago, an important step takes place in Ethiopia. Early hominins begin making sharp stone flakes for cutting meat, and meat is a true calorie bomb. Our ancestors gained access to a powerful new fuel source. And now the body had something that could feed a growing brain. But meat does not just lie around in the savannah. To get it, the tools had to become better and better. That is how a marathon began, one that would last for millions of years. Now let us jump forward by about 1 million years. A new main character enters the scene, Homo erectus, an upright walking human ancestor. Tall, lean, with long legs built for running. In Kenya, at a place called Kokisele, researchers find its greatest creation. It is a hand axe, a stone tool shaped like a teardrop. At first glance, it is just a beautiful rock. In reality, it is a revolution in thought. To make a hand axe like that, you have to see it inside the block of stone. In other words, you have to imagine something that does not exist yet. And then, through a series of precise strikes, bring it out into the world. That is no longer an accident. That is intention. It is much like a sculptor seeing a statue inside a block of marble. Humans would go on making these hand axes for more than 1 million years. They have been found in Africa, Europe, and Asia. And all the while, the brain keeps growing. And it grows fast. In australopiths, it was about the size of an orange. In Homo erectus, it was already almost the size of a small grapefruit. A coincidence? Scientists do not think so. But how do we prove that working with stone was what changed the brain? The answer to that question was found only recently, and in a very unusual way. At an American university, there is a scientist named Dietrich Stout. He is an archaeologist, but he likes running unusual experiments. Stout gathered a group of ordinary modern people, and he began teaching them to make stone tools the way our ancestors once did. First, simple flakes, then more complex hand axes. Then he placed his students inside an MRI scanner. That machine shows which parts of the brain are active at any given moment. And here is what the scientists saw on their screens. When a person shapes stone, the brain's planning regions light up. The area responsible for hand-eye coordination becomes active. But the most surprising thing of all, an area linked to speech lights up too. Yes, the very same area that allows you to speak. So an ancient toolmaker and an ancient speaker were using the same part of the brain. Stout proposed that speech and stoneworking evolved together. Think about it. How did an elder pass the secrets of the craft on to the young? With gestures, sounds, and explanations. Over time, those sounds turned into words, and words demanded an ever more complex brain. Stone and language grew hand in hand. Now put the whole picture together. The better someone was at making tools, the better they were at getting food. The better they were at getting food, the more likely they were to survive and have children. And the ones who knew how to teach their children left even more grandchildren behind. In every generation, the winners were the smartest hands and the quickest minds. That is evolution working like a giant filter. And that filter was tuned by the stones in our ancestors' hands. It was not only the brain that changed, the hand itself changed too. In chimpanzees, the thumb is short and weak. In us, it is long, strong, and opposable. Only a hand like that can grip a stone firmly and strike with precision. And we learned one more crucial thing: to teach one another. Chimpanzees use sticks and stones too, but they do not pass knowledge from generation to generation the way we do. Humans are the only creatures that accumulate skill across centuries. Today's engineer stands on the shoulders of thousands of generations of makers. And the very first of them sat by a lake in Africa, striking stones together. And here is what matters most. That chain reaction did not end in the Stone Age. It is still happening right now, inside you. Look at the phone in your hand. The same precise grip between the thumb and index finger. The same brain regions planning your every movement. The same speech area helping you understand these words. Your brain is not a gift, and it is not an accident. It is a tool sharpened over millions of years. Every one of your ancestors did something with their hands. They struck stone, cut meat, sewed clothes, and passed their skills on. And somewhere deep inside your head, that ancient toolmaker is still alive. He sees the world through your eyes, and every time you create something new, he smiles. Because we are his continuation, a living tool created by other tools.